Vice President Harris appearing to abandon their message of joy and focusing on her closing argument to voters by villainizing former President Trump.
Dana, it's not just that Vice President Harris has abandoned a message of joy. Her closing argument that we are getting day after day has very little to do with her or her policy proposals. It is almost entirely just an argument that she is best because she is not Donald Trump.
I do believe that Donald Trump is unstable, increasingly unstable. I'm going to sit there unstable, unhinged, plotting his revenge, plotting his retribution.
We can joke and have fun, and of course, you know, the joy is gone from the Kamala Harris campaign, but me and President Trump, we're everywhere, we're going everywhere, and we're having a lot of fun doing it.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
The vice president is now also refusing to answer directly a question about whether or not Trump is prejudiced against Jewish people.
Do you believe Donald Trump is anti-Semitic?
I believe Donald Trump is a danger to the well-being and security of America.
He has said that he's casting himself as a protector of Israel. Do you believe you would be more pro-Israel than Donald Trump?
I believe that Donald Trump is dangerous.
I want to take you back to last night, Philadelphia Town Hall. Some moments that might have been head scratchers for some. Check it out.
Price of groceries is still too high, and we need to address it in a number of ways. One of my aspects of doing what we need to do to bring down the cost of living for working people and the middle class in America is to address the issue of grocery prices. I think we need to take a look at the filibuster, to be honest with you. But the reality of it is this. Let's talk about how we got here.
But if you're earning $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 under your plan, there's a good chance your taxes go up.
We can't have this conversation without knowing it's a very complicated situation. Well, I am certainly not perfect.
The New York Times had 5 takeaways. One was her answers boiled down to Donald Trump could be worse. And the other conclusion is that voters asked direct questions and Harris gave circular answers. And if you're watching that last night, some of those answers were 3 minutes, 5 minutes long before Cooper cut in. Bill,
yeah, I mean, is it a surprise? It's amazing to me that someone could be vice president for 4 years and not be just facile at talking and going to events. You represent the White House in so many things, and Dana knows.
No.
And you just get used to it and doing it. And her best moments are when she's evasive, because at least she's not incriminating herself.
Let's listen to what Dana Bash and David Axelrod said after the CNN town hall.
What I'm hearing from people who I have been talking to, and that is that if her goal was to close the deal, they're not sure she did that.
The things that would concern me is when she doesn't want to answer a question, her habit is to kind of go to word salad city. She would acknowledge no concerns about any of the administration's policies, and that's a mistake.
Dana, you've been a part of communications teams for president and the campaign. Bill, you've written speeches. These are the basics. This is the blocking and tackling of the campaign.
This is what was interesting this morning. My assistant, Kate, asked me, when you had to go to the podium before that, did you work on answers to questions you knew you were going to get? Like, well, obviously. But yes, of course, I explained to her the process. But then, like, to your point, Bill, how can you work in a White House for 3.5 years and be in the Senate for all that time and not be able to answer any questions? It's disappointing, and it's almost professionally insulting. It's like, come on, they took an entire day to come up with answers and they didn't have one.
The Washington Post has just said, in terms of endorsing a presidential candidate, that it will not endorse a candidate this election cycle.
Yeah, this is a big deal. The Washington Post is a left-wing publication. The Washington Post, remember, had the austere scholar language before. They are, by all measures, I would argue, one of the most left-wing publications in the nation. New York Times gives them a run for their money. And they are choosing not to endorse Kamala Harris.